This week, we're talking about American 20th century imperialism. In fact, we're talking about how it is we came to be and who it was that got us there, or at least started us on the road, and the book that's all about it. Welcome to Matt Reviews Books. I am Matt, and I am Chief Cook and Bottle Washer. And this is a book review channel dedicated to older books. And by older books, I mean books not from this year, not from last year, not from the year before. There are exceptions, however. I will acknowledge that. And also, this often has a nonfiction characteristic to it, and this week it's actually a nonfiction book, one that I encountered in college when I was studying U.S. diplomatic history. And so with that, let's move on to synopsis. This, in First Great Triumph, is written by Warren Zimmermann. I got notes. Warren Zimmermann, who spent several decades with the U.S. Foreign Service. He was an expert on diplomatic history. And he was the last ambassador to Yugoslavia. Raise your hand if you know where Yugoslavia was once located. And if you can find it on a map today, you're looking at an old map. Zimmermann takes a look at 5 people, 5 men, who in the course of 5 years, 1898 to 1903, really helped shape U.S. policy and helped put America on the road to international imperialism. And those 5 men were Theodore Roosevelt, good old Teddy Roosevelt, Alfred T. Mahan, Admiral Mahan, Henry Cabot Lodge, John Hay, and Elihu Root. Now, if those names sound familiar, and if you've ever studied later 20th century history, names like Lodge, Hay, and Root, as well as Roosevelt, show up again. They become, their families actually become the bulwark of American political institutions, foreign policy institutions, for decades. This sort of looks at the psychology of those 5 men, their backgrounds, what their vision was for America. Sort of what kicks it off is the Spanish-American War, where we take possession from Spain of a number of areas around the world that help us really become an empire upon which the sun never sets. It's Theodore Roosevelt who has the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. And that really is sort of that frames the next century. Thoughts? If you want something that's going to give you sort of a sense of how ideas and different people interacted and forged America's 20th century identity, this is a good place to start. Warren Zimmermann writes with a very clear narrative style that is easy to comprehend, and even when you're talking about certain diplomatic or international ideas, it's not a whole lot of dense theory. It's really solidly accessible to the lay reader. If you want to find out just how far these ideas extend, turn on network news. CNN, NBC, ABC, they all have it. And anytime you start hearing about us and intervening in foreign affairs because of American interests, you can thank these 5 guys. Thanks, Teddy! We will continue on with the rest of our lives. I'll see you next week. Bye.